first glance, until I began to look deeper, and clearly something exciting, potentially momentous, could be emerging from beneath, but it could take months to get there.
We're thinking 50 years to get to this point.
Sure, but it all depends on whether or not the conservators can use the right chemicals in the right way to take off that top layer without damaging what lies beneath. And that won't take the same amount of time.
Let's look at the provenance. So what we do know is that Magoosh, Gorky's wife, gifted the painting to Alexander Douglas.
The store, the date. Yeah, he was quite a man.
And here's Magoosh looking beautiful, and she wanted Alexander to take the white paint off. On the back of the picture, we've got this rather fabulous signature here. Though we have been taking about signatures before, of course.
Yeah, but it's got panache, doesn't it? But it's the dates that interest me. 1928, 1929, 1931.
So is that unusual? I've never seen three dates like this.
Well, it was known that Gorky would return to his works. He was never fully satisfied, if you want. And for comparison, here there's a work he did over a protracted period in the mid-30s. How do you think this compares to Liza's?
Well, not very well,
Hey,
if I'm honest. I mean,
how did we lose one?
striking
I think we
primary
should throw it in the
colours.
back, just to be
This
safe.
sort of sludgy brown. I don't see much comparison.
I think there's
You ever
possibly a deeper
wonder why
story
there's a
going on here.
bank out here?
An X-ray would
Well,
enormously help.
I think it's supposed to be like more of a vault, you know? Oh, that makes sense.
Back to the studio. I want to see if anything else might be hiding deep within the canvas. At well over 5 feet, the picture is so big it requires a specialist X-ray to be brought in. So we called in effect. Dr. Philip Ivans has come equipped with a machine normally used on horses. 38 X-rays will be needed to make up a complete image of the picture. And as the shots instantly appear, Aviva and I are beginning to see different motifs and shapes.
You're free to go.
emerge. So what? Seeing now, are
Not
we
really, but you've got a pack.
areas of outline and shape
Don't get your hopes up. We've already checked it for anything useful, haven't we, Dave? What? Yeah, of course I checked it. I mean, if I didn't check it, I'd lose my job, and I don't lose my job.
To something that's painted underneath, which has a very clear outline, which is defined by areas of pigment that contain heavy metals, with areas that don't contain heavy metals. And you can see that in a lot of these different things.
It looks like the remnants of what could be an earlier painting have emerged from deep within the layers of paint. And once the pieces are put together, it's clear they are looking at another picture buried in the canvas. That's so much clearer. I mean, that's a definite shape, but not something that seems to relate to what one can see. We could be dealing with not one but two paintings.
It's not clear
Witness,
yet,
please
but
continue your
certainly
testimony.
more than what we can
Okay.
see.
I was riding alongside my partner, the armored man, but suddenly spotted a bag on the side of the road. Got out and eventually decided to throw the bag in with the other. We didn't know there was someone hiding in there. Objection! So, the defendant crawled into that bag in order to break into the bank. Is that correct? Is it not obvious? Is it really that
Back
obvious?
in London, on the
I
Provenance
prove
Trail,
that the
I've
defendant
come to
didn't
take
hide
a
himself in
risk
that
to see if there
bag.
might be anything in the
Well then,
archive that
what are
sheds
you
light
waiting
on
for?
this mysterious
Present this evidence
picture.
already.
Alexander wrote in 1961 he was asked by Gorky's widow, Magoosh, to remove what he described
Take that!
as the ground in time
What
for a
is
retrospective
this?
of Gorky's work.
It's evidence.
James Kennedy of the gallery's
How
record
exactly does
manager.
this prove
Has she
anything?
found any evidence of the painting?
Well, I was just kidding. This is no time for jokes. I see no reason to further prolong this
There
trial.
were 105
I find the defendant, Henry Stickmin,
drawings altogether.
And I assume nothing about the painting that we possess. Part of Alexander's job was looking at the paintings as they came in, assessing them for the exhibition, isn't it?
Yes, this is the kind of work that he would have done. That's a condition report.
So this is a painting by Gorky that was in the 1965 exhibition.
Yes.
So here he's assessing the condition. Examiner, done lease. So it would have made sense then
Take that!
for him to be looking at a
Is
painting that
is that the bag the defendant hid in?
Yes, but there's one thing that's been bothering me. the defendant really was hiding in this bag, then how did he tie the knot from the outside of the bag?
I have had conservation records
He was
checked.
inside the bag. It'd be impossible for him to tie that knot on the outside.
There's no record there.
But then, how did he do it?
It's simple. He didn't. What are you saying? I'm saying my client wasn't hiding that bag at all. He was stuffed in there. By this very witness! As you can see by this doctor's analysis, the defendant had taken quite the beating. While he was in the bag, he was unconscious. This is absurd. The witness was attempting to dispose of the body. He left the defendant in the bag, knowing he'd drive by it on the way back to the bank. When the witness and his partner passed the bag, he convinced his partner to throw the bag in with the others.
But why would he do that?
Why, to dispose of the body, of course. There were millions of bags of money in that bank, and the witness knew it would take a long time before the victim was found. But unfortunately for the witness, his victim woke up and tried to escape from the tomb. He was arrested on the spot, and the witness thought everything was over. But it's come back to haunt him now. You can't be happening to me!
Could they help explain the dates on the
Well,
back?
that certainly was an interesting trial. However, I am now ready to deliver my verdict. I find the defendant, Henry Stickmin,
Here called organization could offer us some vital clues. It was painted in the mid-30s over the course of 3 years, a bit like Rises. Because on the back, you recall, 1928. Lines that we see here are to be found in the X-ray. I mean, it feels to me that we have to be looking at, in Liza's painting, something of this sort of period. But of course, what it doesn't show is what we can now see with the naked eye. Works like Organization were maligned by critics for mimicking other modern masters. In the early 1940s, Gorky rediscovered
What's my screen, Jamie?
No thanks.
You sure?